It is literally 5:25 on the 25th. So, I love those number things when everything lines up like that. It would really be cool if it was 5:25, but it's only 4:25. 5:25 on 4:25, but that still adds 4 and 5. So I bet you I'll look at some point today and I'll see 6:25. Um, okay, let's see. Last night it was, I was just conked out. Yesterday I took a nap again. Yesterday too. I think in the morning I took 2 naps before it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I had gone back to bed twice. Get up, eat something, go back to bed. Get up, eat something, go back to bed. Because I'll get up and I'll be doing stuff and I'll be like, I am still tired. And so then go lay back down. Dogs are just sleeping and doing nothing. So, and then, and it's all quiet. So then I just go back to bed. And then I got up like at 9:30, went and got my ring, which now I feel more happy because the jeweler was like, talking about, what a cool ring it was and stuff. So then I was like, okay, it's obviously not a 3D printed ring then. But you can't, trust jewelers. I had, when I got my grandma's ring, and it was, the diamond was supposed to be really valuable and stuff. And so at some point when I was really poor, went in to see, have it evaluated for how much it was worth. And, and then I found out I had a different diamond in it. So somebody had stolen it when she had taken it in to get it cleaned or something and replaced it with some other diamond that wasn't as good. So anyways, I know that the whole industry is shady. And besides the fact that how they make some diamonds, I know they can dig some out of mines, which I don't know what those are, but they also make them out of dead people. There's purses, there's clothes, I think, like shoes. There's stuff that they have made out of dead people. And so I don't know if it's like a joke on us or something, to feed the people to us and sell us stuff made out of them and stuff. It's so warped. Which yesterday, this was weird. So somebody was sharing a video of, the German guy, and it's translated. And it was audio, and it was translated, so you could hear what he was saying. And so the person didn't sound like him exactly, but it did kind of the same way he talked, but it didn't sound exactly like him. But still, you got the whole thing. And he was saying all the exact same things that are happening to us right now. And he was saying that they have to stop doing this to the Germans and all of that stuff. So, I don't know, there's some crazy twists. And it made me start thinking about, because he said they're messing with their media, they're messing with their art, their music, their everything. They are misleading the people. I can't remember the whole speech, but it sounded just like if Donald got up there and started saying the same stuff right now, because it's all the same stuff that's happening to us. And it's just weird how it's these same people who are always involved in this shit. And the, what was I about to say? Because it was the same people involved. Oh, because it made me start thinking about this weird thing. And I don't even remember, like, exactly when it happened. So I don't know what was going on in my life. But there was this whole, like, movement where there was a bunch of people who were saying that the cost, the whole cost, when I put it together, that was fake. It never happened. And so there was it was just like this outrage and, oh my God, how dare you? And these people were like, no, they're lying. And I wonder what happened to these people saying this. And so, and it became this thing where then I think it was close to it was like after that, it was like Schindler's List and stuff, I think. It seems like it was around here, or either if they had already done a couple of these kind of movies, and then these people were saying this isn't real, or they're lying or something. But then they brought all these old people out with tattoos. So then that like simmered down the crowd. Everybody was like, oh, it is real. See, why are these people so crazy? But now I think, plus there's that whole thing of somewhere else where I saw somebody else who was going through all these old newspaper clips, and then they found this cleansing of the blue when happened in like 1918 or something. It kept being in the newspaper. They kept talking about it. And then you go to the newspaper, what they're saying, and then there wasn't. So, and then there's so much propaganda. Like if you watch the old movies, there's so much war propaganda and so much Yahtzee stuff. It's just like, oh my God. I don't know. It was all set in a story. It was all making something up. And also the other thing about the German fellow was that he was really into supernatural. He was really into trying to talk to aliens and stuff. He talked to these psychic ladies. They were the Vril Society, and they all had really, really long hair because, like, say, like your antenna. I think the people who have the antenna that grows out, I think, man, I bet you if they get, in tune with themselves and stuff, they just get a lot of information because it's all going out. But I don't know. But it does, all the ladies in that society had long hair because they believed that your hair made you more psychic. So anyways, he used those ladies. He was really into like the mystical, supernatural side of life. And I don't know, it's just weird. Oh, and another thing, which to me, I take these kinds of things as like confirmation. And so I had been talking about the earth thing after, my sister making this big thing about how crazy I was because I believe in the flat earth. That was like 1989 belief system. Like, I've moved on. No, it was really I hadn't even ever heard of the flat earth until I think it was when I went on YouTube, when I started waking up and I started looking for more information from things, And originally I started looking for more stuff on Dolores Cannon, because I was like, oh my gosh, this has gone so, this reincarnation, past life regression thing has gone so far. I was just so into hearing more about it. And so I was looking for stuff for her, I know for sure. And I don't know if that, like, I didn't even understand algorithms there, none of that stuff. I was like new to the whole thing. Never went on YouTube for anything. And that was one of the things that turned me into, oh my God, get off YouTube. You believe anything anybody tells you on YouTube and stuff like that. I was like, no, but YouTube's a fucking great ass source for information, man. I think that's why they fuck with us so much. Oh my God, something in my eye. That's why they fuck with us so much. I put mascara on yesterday when I went. It always gets all clumped up. It falls in my... let me think back what I was saying. Okay, so that was to me a good source of information and connection, and that's where I've found so much stuff, and stuff that I've found in 2020 is playing out now. So it's just because I don't know, people think like nothing's real unless it happens instantaneously or something. It's like I don't think that's how life works, but so clearing the throat still goes, but I'm still not coughing. It's the weirdest thing. So okay, so the vibe, okay, so what I was saying, the confirmation thing, okay, so the confirmation thing was that I was, I had just been talking about the earth thing, and I was saying that it's way beyond that to me, the flat earth. That is like, it's the flat earth if you believe it's a flat, but it's like a limitation in what you can see and how you believe. The globe is a controlled, it's a controlled manipulation to confuse us over where we were and how things were, you know, to keep us out of balance. Everything is to keep us out of balance. You know, we spend all our life trying to find ourselves. And so, but that's the part of what has been going on. Like, we came here for this. We weren't sucked in like a vacuum or something. And so, and God, there's not God, you know, the Almighty didn't force you in here. You know, you decided where you were going and when you were going and all that. Who you were going with, it's all you. It comes from you. And so I said, like, to me, I started seeing, for one thing, I don't know, because it's like a whole bunch of different things. Like, I see everything as like a giant ocean, and that we're all bubbles in the ocean. I see everything is like a giant honeycomb of different vibrations. And so everything is possibilities and realities and stuff. So everything that is possible can exist. It is all based on the vibration and what the creator creates. And so there's realities all around us. There's tons of realities that are around us that we can't see. And it's possible in your life to cross into one without realizing it, because you're a vibrational match. You can go into it and then be confused, because then you're like, where the fuck am I? And you have to come back out of there to go back into yours. That's how close it is. It's not some far off thing, and it's all based on vibration and stuff. And I've said that, like, the earth is like this, it is a toroidal, it's an electrical charged thing, and how electricity and stuff moves, it has to move in a natural way. And it creates, say, like a tension of experience. So it creates this tension of experience, and then it's like all of these souls gravitate to this experience. And so, and then you go into the experience to experience what the experience is. So everything is all these different vibrations. Like I said, to me, we aren't all like how they have us in this idea that we're on this big flat plane, and that we're all out here and we got to go here to get there, to go there. And then, to me, what really got me was when I was seeing those lives, and it was like, okay, it's supposed to be night there and it's day there and it's day here. Like, how can that be? Like, what the fuck, you know? And it just came into my mind, and it was like, oh, we aren't like this. We're more like this. Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but then it's like also water. It's also vibration. It's also, so it's just different. It's all these different realities. And there's some experiences that are happening around us that are not even something that you will ever experience. But it's all these things happening around you. Even if you are a vibrational match and you could give it attention and go there, but it's a different reality. And it's almost like they tried to pocket or claim a bunch of realities and try to go in and control them. And so my mom's been out of internet for, this is day 3, and no explanation or anything. She even called us, she's so fucking pissed. She even called yesterday, and they're like, well, we don't know, some bullshit thing that they said. This is making it be 3 days out. She's pissed. And anyways, my thing just all of a sudden went off. I was like, and I was like, man, I don't know, it could be just, you know, showing you how much how addicted you are to it, to show you your own self. Like that can happen. That's one level. Another level can happen. It could be showing you the corruption in the corporation. So that's another level. So there's all different things that are happening, and you just got to look at yourself and look at how you're affected. So, anyways, and I can see it could be a whole bunch of different things, because for one thing, you know, she still is like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do and you gotta be a part of it and stuff like that. Well, that can be a push. It can also be because she gets too consumed with it, like every TV's on and stuff. So she needed to quiet her mind for some processing or something. So that can happen. Like, you just gotta go in your thing. And so, anyways, I've had this whole time. I said, well, I think it's going to probably go to satellites anyways. I mean, he's even said before about CenturyLink and Xfinity or Comcast, which is all extensions of the Comcast, is that they, how corrupt they are. So, I mean, they've gotten Donald's attention before where he's said it in his speeches. So, yeah, all this shit is going to be falling apart to show us. And there's big moves being made, too, on some stuff. Like, what did he stop? The capital gains tax, I guess. But most of us, that doesn't have anything to do with us, because we're not selling stocks and bonds and shit in order to have money. Most of us, that's way up here. And so, some of the things, it's just going to keep going further. You know, like, okay, we're going to end this, but what was that? Oh, because this one was, so this was big news. I'll go back to the other thing in a sec. So it was a radio show, and I don't know what it was. Somebody had filmed, it's like a 10-minute segment. Somebody had made a TikTok of it. And, because you can have a 10-minute video, but this show, I'm sure, was much longer. All I know is that the lady talking had an Australian accent. And so, I can't remember the guy's name she's talking to. Maybe it was Jim or something. But so she's talking to a guy, and she's said his name a few times. And anyways, so she said, you know, when I very first started hearing about Nisargazar, I was like, that's some bullshit. Like, yeah, I wish. And she said, and then people started asking him about it all the time. And so they were like, you know, we don't know. But she said now something big has happened. And so now she's like all in on it. And so she said, what has happened was, I'll give you like, I'm not going to give you the whole 10-minute long thing. I couldn't even remember how to repeat it all anyway. So I'm going to give a brief synopsis on this little widget. So a guy in Texas, he's a guy who is India, but he is American. So he has a name that's unusual to most Americans. It's a name from another country, but he's an American guy. And he lives in Texas. And his wife was pregnant. He had already seen like about the straw man and stuff. And so he was looking into some stuff. I don't remember. In his research, he was doing all this research. Well, she was about to have a baby, so when they went to do their birthing plan, they said, we want the cord and the placenta back. Because in 2014, the corporation bankers and what did she keep referring to him as? Not the FCC, I don't think. One of these organizations that are the overkeepers, the watchers, you know, the ones that are protecting us. And so, they had decided that we were all responsible for the dead. The living pay for the dead, and that it counted that our cord and our placenta as a twin, and so that we had to be responsible. It's some weird shit. Some weird how they make weird shit, man. And stuff that is like, what the fuck are you talking about? So anyways, they made that so that we had to, however, that they can make these, make us responsible in the corporation, that the capital letters and all of that stuff. And so the capital letters now are no longer. If somebody does something in capital letters, they can go to jail. Like, this is a big thing. And they have to take down that was a corporate thing. Now they're supposed to put your first letter is capital, but everything else isn't. So the straw man thing has been fucked. Just like how the other guy who was doing the home loans, how it went all the way to court. He showed all of this stuff about our rights and the constitutional rights and stuff, and the judges went on his side. And they said that all of these loans, these home loans and shit, are illegal. So it was the same kind of thing that's going on with this. And so so they said that they, make us responsible for this money and all this stuff. And so I can't remember exactly how all this stuff is. So it's kind of like it's upside down. And so he just got it flipped right side up, where now it's all in our favor. And so a lot of us, he said that we owe, or they made us responsible for like $1 billion or something. So they owe us $3 billion each or something. It's some crazy money stuff. And I don't know what it will be on each person. But so he in his birth plan, he said he was taking that with him. Well, they still made the thing on his son. So they still made him whatever. He had to carry, his dead twin as his responsibility. And so the guy took that to court, and he's like, this is my, what do they call it? Not my organic material. This is my something. And so he proved in court that that was illegal. And so the court went with him, and then they changed the thing with the UCC, UFC, whatever it is. And so now that it flips over into the living. And so not only is there going to be a whole bunch of, because now it's like it goes back to us, and this is all court stuff, and they can't do the corporation. All of this stuff is all changing, and the loans and everything. That's why I was like, I don't even like, if you even went and tried to get a house loan right now, you're going to be getting illegal stuff, like, and anyone who is doing it can get charged, like these bankers and shit. So I don't know, there's got to be some stuff that's going to be changed. I don't know if people are even getting loans right now, because the housing market also has to crash, because it's a part of this whole thing too. And so and on the stuff with the Doge and stuff, it all goes with this too. And they were using to prove about the money thing and all this stuff. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's a whole court thing. It's something that actually changed. They made a new law. They changed stuff from this thing happening. And but see, a lot of people don't know that yet. And so they'll just keep paying their stuff and keep being, the straw man, paying, for their placenta, like, or whatever the fuck this is. Because that started in 2014. Well, the straw man thing started way before that. So I don't know how it was written in their laws then, but whatever with their weird shit. It's got too weird, and so now it's capped off, and so it's all falling apart. And so we are going to get money coming back to us that's going to flip. We're not going to be we can't be slaves anymore. Like, they've enslaved us, and that's ending. And so anyways, it's all in the process. And then he's got all these things ending, like these taxes, all these taxes and stuff, because that was illegal too, taxing us for this and that, just like them trying to go out to the lady for her house because her grass is overgrown. That is such government overstep. And I know that's where they're headed. This old lady, they'll just take her house. They'll just wrap her up in fines, stress her out. She'll fucking have a heart attack. And then they'll just take her house. They want, it's just like, this is how these people work. That's how the others are. These are the others. These are people that I don't think they're like human. They're not like us. And so they don't give a fuck. They see emotions as weakness. They see as you giving a shit makes you weak. So they're very, out for themselves, soldier kind of mentality or something. Like the strongest, you got to be willing to stomp on everybody and to get where you want to go. But where is it you want to go? don't you want anybody to hold hands with you when you get there? Like, don't you want anybody to like you when you get there? Like, so anyways, it's a different philosophy for how they exist than how we do. And it is like the battle of the light and the dark. It is like the God and the angels, or the devils and the angels or something meet up. But we're the angels. We're the ones who, we have to click on and see, like, oh, they are fucking with our heads and trying to pair us against each other to make us weaker. And so, anyways, we're still in that. That's, the whole awakening thing. The battle changes when everybody wakes up and realizes, oh, we're the angels. We're the ones who are battling these bitches. And then it changes. It changes direction because there's no more of this, we're not going to let them walk all over us. We're not going to be their little bitches. We're not going to be their slaves. We're going to stand up, and we don't need this. Why would we need a 2-story home with 2 garage, 2.5 kids? And oh, that was another thing. Donald now is gonna he's talking about paying $5,000 to people to start having kids. I think it's just, some of this stuff is just to get attention on things, because paying people to have kids is not the direction we're going to be going. It's going to be a lot more thoughtful when people are going to have kids. People aren't going to just be pumping them out for, to make themselves feel better, to make $5,000 and shit like that. And so some of the stuff he says and stuff is, I think, to bring attention to certain things, so people keep understanding we are not overpopulated. We're underpopulated. So many people are talking about their apprenticeship programs now. It's like, and people didn't realize like how there's not enough of those workers, and they're like, man, you can set your own money. But see, that's going to be another thing, is when we're going to come together as community, we're going to get paid what we're worth, but also not try and rip everybody off because we're the only one doing it and stuff. And I don't think it would intentionally became that way, but I mean, some of these guys, because there's not enough of them, they just get, where they're just working and working and working and working, and they need time off, and people are just constantly need this, constantly need that, to where they're like, okay, well, it's like, it's $200. And so, they started pumping up the prices. I bet it doesn't put people off, because people are desperate for the services. And so it really is to kind of bring it more into balance, to where, you don't have to go, you get paid well to be a tradesman, to have a skill, but also you get to pick your own time of working. And when there's tons and you're not being harassed by people, then you can pick your own schedule. You can decide how much you want to work and how hard you want to work and where you want to work and stuff. So it's going to put a lot more freedom, a lot more you being the one who decides about your day and stuff. So, because that has such a big thing, in life, is how your day is going to go. When they have so much control over our days, like so many people, like they don't get up in the morning and go like, oh, I just want to go to work so bad. I'm so excited to get to work. No, they start the day out like, I don't want to do this. This isn't where I want to go. Running into this. I have to get gas. I have to go do that. I have to make lunch. It's just so much of a burden. It's just all this have to. It's like people aren't getting up to, what do I get to do today? I'm going to go walk on the beach. I'm going to go sit and talk to the fishermen. I'm going to, like, we can just do whatever we want. It doesn't have to have some big purpose, and we don't have to, I mean, it's going to shift into, like, why would we have to pay for the things that are free here? Places that land and water, air and stuff. So there's just going to be huge shifts where you're going to have so much more freedom. And I've been saying for years, the skills and stuff is where you want to be going, not going towards school, working on your own skills and following your own passions. What is it you like to do? And that's going to take you in the direction that you want to go. And so, anyways, I've been saying that for a long time. Okay, so anyways, back on this confirmation thing. So I was talking about the earth is how I see it as just a bunch of realities, and it's realms and realities. Things are not like how we think they are, and it is like a lot of this water, and we're protected in like this bubble, and it's all based on frequency, and that is what is going to bust this one open, because the frequency is going to become bigger than what it is holding. And so that's what all this shifting and stuff going on. It's this the reality's falling apart because everybody's waking up and seeing things differently. And so it's all this like, it's like a separation, but then it is like this coming together. And it is like, because there's this merge of other realities coming together, but there's also this separation in the vibration. So there's a lot of chaos and stuff going on. And so it's like you have these vibrations of like where we were all at, and then it became some people, I don't know, because it kind of, it seems like it is, yeah, it's kind of like choosing sides of the light or the dark. But the thing is so many people are picking the dark, thinking it's the light. So that's the thing. It's like when they all of a sudden realize they're choosing the dark, not the light, that seems like it's the awakening, which brings them all on the same side. Or I said, like, it's all of a sudden everybody's on the same side. And that's like in the movie, everything. And so when we get to the same side, when we become unity, then things will flip. But there still is going to be, like how I see it, kind of like, it seems like we're in this thing. The stuff keeps happening, and there's keeps being all this stuff dropped, all this information and stuff being dropped nonstop. And then so we're getting flooded with stuff to make us think about things, and then something gets dropped that just is like, you know, shocks everybody awake or something, where it's just like, what? You know, like people are just really shocked. And then so that turns us all onto the same page. But that doesn't mean every single person. There's still going to be this lower vibration. And so I don't know if that is where this rapture thing happens, where all of the lower vibration leaves. And it's not like, I mean, I think they just go in a separate direction. And we go towards the age of Aquarius, freedom, abundancy, and all of that stuff. So we go towards that, which in that movement is where you are shedding the old self and becoming the best version of yourself. So there's a point, you have work to do. It's not just like you just jump from one thing to the next, like these people say, but but then the people who are the lower vibration, to me, the ones who are truly of the darker energy, seems like they would go in a different direction to go and experience more. I don't know. Because there's so many different things. It can be like all of a sudden there's just a bunch of light workers, and they all just go back to wherever they were from or something. I don't know. There's just going to be some kind of a separation, though. But I still think it wouldn't happen before the people see the truth. Seeing the truth is a bit like, how can you be the truth if you don't see the truth? And everything is trying to show people, but the people are so deeply mind controlled. So it seems to me that everything has to do with the awakening. And it seems like our energy from the awakening and the outrage and all that stuff is what creates the big change, the big separation and stuff. So I don't think it's anything like we need to be scared or anything. But I think there's going to be some crazy dramatic things that are going to happen. But I think that's where we got to really start understanding what's going on. Like this reality is ending. I'm seeing all these people now who are like, they're sure this is the apocalypse. The world's ending. The world's ending now. It's just so clear. It's like, no, it's the world that we were living in. The way we were living is ending. that enslaved world that we existed in, that we tried to make the best of, that's ending. And it's like we did good, so now we get to go and level up, and we get to go and experience something different. So it's not, and the different one is going to be so much more peaceful and loving. But the reason it's peaceful and loving is because we go through all these traumas and we learn to be peaceful and loving. We create the peaceful, loving world. It comes through us. So it's, but it happens. Like, this is going to happen. We become that and create a world of that. And it all comes from all of this trauma that's going on. You know what, yesterday, it was something, I don't know, it could have been just something about this that came into my mind. And the people, because the people who, the religious people who think it's like everything supernatural is just God versus the devil. And I was thinking, really, it would be probably God and the devil are having coffee together and would be best friends because they work together as a perfect team. And so it's us that has to find the balance. But they are giving us the dark and the light back and forth to create the perfect balance. So it's really, it wouldn't be that they were against each other. They work together. So the light and the dark, and it's up to the individual to find the balance of how much light and how much dark that you exist in for your own self. And it is also would be, I hear permissible, but it would also be variable because each person, it would be based on their own perspective of what is light and what is dark, because we don't all agree. You know, is this bad? Well, you know, there's a lot of things you can go, well, if you were in this situation, like, is killing bad? Well, if somebody's trying to kill you, then is killing bad? Like, there's all this perspective. So there's people who have gone through different things that gives them a different perspective over what is good and what is bad. So none of us are exactly the same on what we see, but but it's up to us to find our own balance. And when we're out of balance, it is like we're being pulled by something else to pull us out of balance. That is like all these people who are so out of balance, they're being pulled by this mind control. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not looking at themselves and trying to find their own balance. Instead, they're trying to please bosses, please spouses, please coaches, please, you're just trying to be something to other people. Which, when you're not living your truth and not being authentic to yourself, you're always going to find disconnecting yourself. You're going to feel unhappy. You're going to be mad at yourself. You're going to not feel true. And you're not going to feel like you stand up for yourself, that you believe in yourself. Like, there's a lot of lack of taking care of yourself when you're trying to please other people. And so that's why there's so many people who are lost and even trying to figure out, like, who am I? What am I? How is I being fake? They don't even know. Like, it takes a lot to start realizing your own fakeness and to face, like, why you are fake to people. Because you're fake because you want to be accepted. And a lot of people don't want to see themselves as being that weak of, like, I'll change myself in order to be accepted by these people. And so that's why it's like painful to heal things, because you have to look deeper into yourself and see these weak sides of yourself and these broken sides of yourself. And then you got to learn how to not judge those, how to have compassion for yourself. That's why I always say you got to learn to love yourself. You got to have compassion for yourself, because yeah, we're all broken, we're all needy, we're all these things. And when you go around thinking like you know, you're perfect or something, and then you start seeing how broken you are, then it is a big kick in the gut. And so a lot of people, like, that's the existential crisis of the ego being crushed, is like, because you feel like it's like it's just like a big kick to yourself. Then you realize that you're so broken, And then when you can face that side of yourself though, where you're so broken, see, that's when you can start fixing it. You can't fix something if you don't even think it's broken. You have to see that it's broken so you can fix it. Once you start fixing yourself, then your relationships start improving. Your self-esteem starts improving. Your physical parts of you start improving, because when you're not living your truth, you're going to be sick. It will make you sick. That is one thing that sickness is trying to express to you, is to get you to stop and be true to yourself and think and stuff. And people don't. And there's more. Man, it's kind of rough to be able to see through so many things, and then you can't do anything about it. And but yeah, there's definitely people who are surrendering to death at this point, because it's easier than facing the things they've been running from their whole life. And we still got to see how things are going to play out. We still got to watch and see, because there can be this sudden just switch where all of a sudden they feel it so strong, like that they have to heal. There's nothing they can do about it. It's written. So, and we just don't know every single person's story of what's written. So, but they can also leave and go and deal with it in their life review. So it's hard to say for sure, but I can definitely see, people are, rather than have to stand up for themselves and be true to themselves, it's just easier to just kind of fade away. And but this is the time to be true to yourself and stand up for yourself. And that doesn't mean you have to stand up for yourself and fight because you're right and they're wrong. No, but you don't have to lay down because people think you're crazy or people think you say weird stuff. Then you don't have to just lay down and be quiet. Even if they tell you don't talk in my house, then you find somebody else to talk to or something. You don't have to talk to them. You can just be like, okay, fine, I won't talk to you about it. But you can still be true to yourself. That doesn't mean because they're putting up their boundary that they can't. It's like you just gotta look at it like they're just short out. They can't handle the truth. It's like in that movie we were talking about, you can't handle, or is it Jack Nicholson? I can't remember. I think it's Jack, one of those two guys, where it's like, you can't handle the truth. That is basically, that is what is going on with these people. You start trying to tell them, and then they start falling apart and telling you you're crazy and stuff. It's because they can't handle the truth. And so, but the truth is coming, full speed ahead, and there's nothing they can do about it. And people like me were the dumpster spillers. We were the ones who were supposed to be out here on social media and stuff, talking about all this weird stuff to start getting people's minds ready and stuff. That's what I told my mom yesterday, because that guy, the one that went to the FBI testing thing, and I'd heard that before anyways, that they were kind of leaving it to the people, the conspiracy theorists and stuff, to keep saying things on here, online, because then it was like the soft open for people. And so I told my mom, I said, even when you would hear me say stuff and you didn't believe it, it still was opening your mind to it. And so we're like the soft open on things, the things that we talk about that are so crazy and stuff, but the stuff is still coming. It's just gonna keep coming. And so there's it's all going to be backed up. So, the crazy stuff we say is going to start flooding in with more and more information. And it's just going to get super overwhelming, when people start really realizing how sick, like, that's all I can say, is like how really sick this place is. And what they do to people. They bring out the sickness in people. But it's a very sick world. But anyways, on the confirmation thing, so what I was explaining about how I saw it, then, so this girl, she just asked her ChatGPT, and it was saying exactly like what I was saying. And she said, so what about with the NASA and the photos and stuff? And she said that's where they piece together all these pictures and make one, but it's not real. And so how they show us, the rose round circle thing and stuff like that, it's not real. And It's just a way to keep us contained. But it said the same thing. It's really, it's not, she said, it's not flat or a globe. That is based on how you perceive, because everything is based through perception. But what it really is lots of realms and realities that are all over the place. And it's not air. Space isn't like air. So anyways, all the stuff that she started explaining, that this girl was sharing, was like, this is what I just said. I even said in her comments, this is what I just said, because I've been saying this on YouTube. And but mine doesn't come from Chat GPT. Mine comes from my inner vision of looking inside, which to me is like it's channeling, or if it's remote viewing or whatever, I don't know. Maybe they're going to have to come up with a new name for what some of us can do, because before they just would tell us that we're crazy and stuff like that. But I don't know. You just see stuff. I don't know how, I don't know what it is like in other people's minds, but mine is just like it shifts back and forth between what I see in this world right here, and then it just shifts, and I can look inside my mind and look at, and it's a focus. So if I'm like focused on my brother, then I can just see stuff. I focus on the past. I'm looking at something in the past. I just start seeing stuff play out like a movie and stuff. That's why, like, when I start talking about, like, I'll start going deeper into things. It's like, because I start seeing things. So I don't know, what it is. I don't know how it works. I just know that they've been motherfucking looking for it. The government's been looking for us, like, because that has to do with, I think that they were looking for some people with the DNA thing. Like when they started that whole thing, oh, you can look up your ancestry and stuff like that. Oh, they just were trying to come up with a snaky way to track certain ancestral lines or something. They were tracking people, and I don't know who all. All I know is that when they did those little tests, the circles in the school thing, they were testing for things, and they were looking for psychic kids is one thing. I don't know what all they were looking for, but they were looking for psychic kids. And then they take them and use them, or they do something, because that's where this whole gate program came. And because my daughter was in that program, and I didn't know all that then. I didn't know when I let her go into that. I had no idea. I hadn't even put it together before, that when I was do those tests, it was just, I couldn't focus on it. I couldn't concentrate on it. All I would hear is fill in the dots. And I wouldn't do the test. And I didn't think that much of it. And then it was like this big test thing. Oh, that's determining so many things. But it was later when I heard Corey Good say that's how they found him, was through those tests. And so it is, because they were looking for psychic kids. And I know my daughter is. And so they got her, but there was a lot of stuff going on. So it was kind of like they were trying to get mind control over the kids or something. Like they already had the ones that they used for the translation, or I don't know. I don't know. I think they track them too. There's just lots of weird stuff about the whole thing. But anyways, they didn't get me. And so when I know there's other people like me who have this same thing, that they can see stuff. And then when you've been going through real life, like, for decades, and saying it, people are always like, oh, you're so weird, you're so crazy. Like nobody would ever realize like what you were doing until now, when things are starting to come out. Now I think now people are going to start realizing like, oh, you were seeing things. Like, yeah, that's why I've been saying, but I didn't know how other people's minds work. I don't know. And that's why I would just be so weird, because I'm always like shifting into my inside vision, shifting back and forth. And that would really weird people out, because I don't just sit and look at you. If I'm talking to you, I shift inside my vision. And so I don't know. People think like I'm spacey and stuff like that. And then people think like I'm just making stuff up and stuff. Well, no, I can just see it. Like I could just see it. And it's always like certain things will come in that will promote me to look at it. When I look at it, then I see. And so when I started hearing about the toroidal field thing and about the electronic way that that our universe works, our system or whatever it is, our reality, our place or whatever, how it works. Because each of us is also a toroidal field. The energy is just an energy. And so when I started looking at that, then I started seeing it, like this ocean and bubbles, and like the bubbles aren't all like lined up. They aren't all in the same place. They're just all over. And that is more like what I see it, and like we're inside the earth, and it's not like there's a million firmaments here. I'm talking about just our bubble, but there's bunches of bubbles all around us, which I said it creates like this honeycomb thing, which is like these layers even. So anyways, it's just like you start looking at stuff, and then you just say what you see, and then I don't know, it just starts making sense in my mind. Like I start seeing it that way. And so anyways, that's how I was seeing it. That's how I was explaining it. But then this ChatGPT thing just came on and was explaining it just like what I was saying. And then there's also something, I haven't listened to them, but there's the autism, what are they calling them? Because all these people are like the autism telepathy tapes or something like that, which I think that also, like, because I've been using telepathy ever since I was a little kid. When it started being used on me, I just used it right back. When somebody's talking to you in your head, you just talk in your head right back. And so it, you just start doing it when you're little. Then it just is like, I don't know, it's like a second language, you just do it. And then I bet there's all these people now who are like, oh my God, telepathy's real, stuff. So there's all of that whole thing. So you can read about those tapes. There was another thing. Okay, the realms and stuff. The telepathy. The magical part of the world where people are starting to see that more and see. Because I just heard this one girl saying that, like, well, if we're really like the size of fairies, man, the trees used to be really huge, then there's probably something that the trees were doing for us. Well, I do know everything is the size is by your perspective. So we are huge to some things and we're small to other things. And but I think that in the big trees and stuff, what I had seen, and I think it might have even been a flat earth documentary kind of thing, was that there was a carbon base. Was it the carbon base or crystalline base? It was a different like oxygen mix or something. It was different. And then that's when everything grew really huge. And then I don't know if they were mining the planet and destroying certain things, and so it started shrinking. On the micro macro, it's kind of like, if you went into like you graduated high school, you did so well, you were so popular, you met this great guy, he was the nicest guy, you get married to him, and he ends up being super abusive, and you shrink and shrink, and you become sicker and sicker, and less of yourself and less of yourself. You become more and more broken, and then that's kind of like what has happened to the earth by being just kind of abused and stuff, kind of. And so but now it is in this new part of existence where she's going to be built back up again. And but things don't matter about the size. Like I've said, it's like this morphine. It's like we can be whatever, and it's going to be different. It's all these things. There was even a picture somebody got the other day where it looks like there's it looked kind of like clouds or something, but it looked like two long legs and feet just walking. And it was like, and they've got all these faces in the sky and stuff. Like, there can be things that are way, way bigger than us because it can be in different realities and stuff. And so, in this reality, this is what we are. But this reality is also going to have an expansion in the light, so how I see it is like a garden, and in the dark where it's been living. So if you think of the earth as like a garden, and then how it's been in the dark, it hasn't been growing, it's even been being poisoned and stuff. And so then when it switches and all of the people care about it and love it and are in harmony with the planet, then it's going to start thriving like a garden, just giving and giving and giving. And so it's going to go more into this like beautiful, spectacular kind of place. It's not going to be the same, because right now it's kind of like it's in a position of abuse. It's like it's haggard and it's ready to break free. So it's going to, it's going to take some time, because I see it like in the micro macro, like a woman leaving that relationship and it taking her years to build herself back up. But, years later, maybe a decade later, and she's rocking it. And so things will change. We'll change things here, and it will feed back to us in beauty and magic and stuff. So it's just going to become so, like, the colors will become more vivid and vivacious. The fruit that you would eat is going to give you everything you need and stuff. It's just going to be different. It's going to be like a different world, a different reality. And this is still a part of her history, that she was spectacular, and then she was abused and she was beat down. But she's going to make a comeback. She's going to come back, and it's going to be all of us together. They are in support of one another. They bring her back, and we bring each other back. That's what unity brings to the table, is we all come together and things change. So that's what we're in the process of, is this this huge change of us feeling it and coming back together. But there is the dark, there is the lower vibration and stuff, and there is a lot of people who have done a lot of really bad things when they thought that they could get away with it. And so there's going to be those people being exposed, and see, it can be, maybe as this goes and they say all these people are going to disappear, maybe it's going to be like Gimbo disappears, or certain places or something. I don't know. I don't know exactly how the split goes. I don't know how, with this thing. I just know that there is going to be some kind of a separation, because it's prophesied so much in the rapture and the ascension. And I think in like Hopi or Mayan or whatever, there's a lot of prophecy on it. And we are near this prophecy. Oh yeah, in the 2027 thing, where one of the things about that, and I still don't know about that, a spiritual girl saying all of us spiritual people know about this, is that the 2027 comes from the prophecy of the popes that was made in like the 1200s or something, and they said the name of every single one, and the one that just went, he was the last one, which I just saw another person say, he was a bouncer. He used to be a bouncer before he was the pope. Zelensky was some kind of a stripper or something, like all these people. It's just the weirdest fucking shit, man. Oh my God. I don't know, this world is weird. But, oh my God, and all of these parades and this shit over, I guess it's the ceremonies to end his reign or something. I don't know. It is the most barbaric looking shit. It's creepy and crazy. Like every single one in all these parades, they have a hood that covers their face that's so clan-like, and it's even taller though. It's a giant hood that's exactly like that. It covers their face, exactly the same thing. There's a whole parade of them where they're all wearing red ones. They look creepy as fuck, and they all just walk together. It's creepy as fuck. Then there's this one where they were carrying the casket thing, and they have to carry it on their shoulders. They all had green ones on. And then I saw another one where they all looked like they were going to a S&M thing. They all have black leather hood, like it looks like somebody who from the Middle Ages would come out and chop your head off or something. It was creepy as fuck looking. A whole fucking thing of them. There was actually a whole parade of them going with the white ones on too. It's like, well, this is weird, man. But it's all to, you know, really get people to understand, like, to start seeing these things and go, wait a minute, this really doesn't have the God kind of feel to it. Kind of has a dark kind of vibe. Haven't I seen these hoods before? Like, so yeah, it's very, but all this stuff to me is to try and get people to think and look and see, because that's what has to happen to create the change. And so there's just constant things being exposed, constant pervs and stuff. And my mom had said, yeah, all these priests and stuff, that for so long, all these kids, especially little boys, like, you know, they're touching me. And people, well, and then the organization just scoots them over to another one. Oh, yeah, we'll take care of it. We take care of it. And it's like, well, it's a little heavy in y'all's scene, isn't it? It's getting a little weird. But now, you know, knowing it weren't, like, you were lucky if all you did was get touched. You know, you probably got, some of them were getting eaten. Like, little boys like that. As no wonder that the church got so involved in, like, foster and the kids that don't have anybody and stuff. It's like, because it's big money, man. Big money. Is in our country tried to go in hard on it too with the CPS and stuff. They're like, we're joining in. We're putting our hat in this race. And I just saw this one person saying how ghetto it's becoming. He's like, there was a Delta flight. There was a Delta flight. I don't know, parts of the roof started coming off, so they the customer, the people who were in the airplane had to hold the airplane together to land. It's like, you're holding on for dear life. It blows off. Here we go. So it's more than just like doing a service for Delta. It's kind of like every man for yourself, man. You better get over here and hold this shit. So I don't know. It's just gonna keep being weirder and weirder. I hope I'm not on one of those fucking flights. Anything can go. Anything can happen, though. I'm on American, and it was, my daughter found it because it was straight. You know, we don't have any stops. We just get on the plane. We go to DFW, we get off the plane, and then go get our rental car. But but there's just so much craziness. You know how much I've been like, fuck, I do not want to go on any of these airplanes or anything. But, you know, anything can happen. My mom got here safe and sound. But anything can go down with the, what was I going to say? Anything can go down with the planes. The planes can go down. But anything can go, with his health. Because, which, you know, one thing, too, when you get into the anti-Western medicine is it's like we should not be letting them cut things out of us. And we should not be letting them do all these x-rays and, well, we're going to find your sickness before you know it's there to save your life. And so all these imagery and all this shit. And so we shouldn't be doing that. And it's almost like they just want to catch your body in a system of healing so that they can find a sickness, so that they can run to the rescue to get you on some kind of, you know, something. And so but so he gets another MRI, because I was like, man, if this MRI comes back, because he just did the pill for him. He hasn't started the IV because the insurance said, oh, hell no, that's too expensive. It's fucking shenanigans, man. And so, and of course, we can't do the horse base. Like, you know, that's only a couple dollars down at the feed store, but don't do that. You can die of liver failure. It's like, you're in the midst of dying, and so it's like, it's just crazy. I want to remind him, remember, Dad was in liver failure for 20 fucking years. Like, dude, I think you can handle it. And you got the good genes on your side. But anyways, everybody's got to do what they got to do. Make their own choices. But when the MRI thing comes back, and if it's way bigger, like, who knows? Like that can overwhelm people in their psyche, where they're just like, fuck, I'm dying. And people just die themselves off. And so I don't know what it comes back, and if it comes back where I mean, they could come back and say, well, we just don't think that you should do the stuff, or they could come back and say, well, we're starting it right away. And when they start that stuff, I don't think that you can take that stuff without getting sick. Like, I mean, your hair falls out, you can't eat, you puke all the time, you got diarrhea, you're sick as fuck. You're being poisoned with the most extreme poison that they can come up with. So that could still be what comes where he says, way too sick, don't come yet, and wait until I finish this round of this and get better. So, and that's why I got tickets that I can change the dates, because I don't know, when you're dealing with somebody's sickness and you're trying to go visit them, it's kind of like, whoa. So anyways, I don't know. But everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. Wherever you're supposed to be is where you're going to be. And whatever goes down is what's supposed to happen and go down. So there's nothing, you can't live in fear of it. But it definitely, like, when you're sitting there going like, oh my God, the whole fucking atmosphere is changing, our whole electromagnetosphere. We got other fucking realities merging in with us and shit. We still got airplanes. And I did see my mom out there the other day, like, trying to see the airplane. I was like, it doesn't match. You won't be, like, you could be way over here and it sounds like it's right above you. Like, it's weird shit. Yesterday, we had a helicopter going over a bunch of times. And one of the times we were out there and I was showing her the video about the Nasara thing. And it came. She's like, oh, they don't want us talking about it. It's like, I know. They're watching us all the time. Which, what was it? I do think that there is some kind of thing with the birds watching us. I don't know. I don't think all the birds, but we are being watched. Like, this world that is around us is, I don't know, it's very creepy. Because it's so fake, it's so different than what we think and what we've been told. And what's creepy about it is there's so many people that believe what we've been told. And it's like, but it's not what we've been told. So anyways, I don't know. We'll see how the next few weeks play out. Over what goes down, he's going in, kicking hard on all of this stuff. And when this stuff keeps going in court, like with the loans and all of this stuff, like, something's got to start going. I don't know what the thing is that's holding. If it's like the, like, they're putting it all in the hat, so it's all going to go at once. Surprise to all the people who are anti, because I've seen people now, who I thought would have been more on the side of the movement, of the MAGA movement, but they're still in the political mindset, and they think they're so awake and stuff, but they don't see how I see it is like, he's gonna do and say weird things to get there to not be such a strong following, because we are not supposed to just be attached to somebody like that. And so he's going to do weird shit. And then he's also going to make things fall apart, and things that people want to keep together. So it scares them. All these things are falling apart. But all these things are going to fall apart. And then, and we are going to go to this one world thing, like Earthlings, and where they've built all this fear around this one world government and stuff like that. But it's going to go into a place that is about freedom. It's going in a different direction than what all these people think. And right there, that shows, like, it's still going to split off. The universe is still taking it. Even if all these people think we're going that way, it's still going this way. And that's what's all of a sudden going to turn them, because it's going to go this way. And that's what's going to get their attention. And that's what's going to show. That's the hand of God. That's the universal action. That's where you start seeing, like, oh, there's something bigger here going on. And so that's still happening. So anyways, that is what I see about it. And it's just, there's a lot of people who are like, they're anti him now, and he's doing things that he shouldn't be doing, and he's crazy and all this stuff. So to me, everything is about the awakening. Everything is about to get us to look at things, to change our priorities. The things that are broken are our priorities, our self-esteem, our abilities um, to develop ourselves. Like they've been going hard on that with the technology. We've got the generation that they want that is completely melded into their AI and stuff. There's people who, uh, I was just talking about this with my mom yesterday, and she's like, yeah, there's people who would, want to put these implant things in. And to me, is like, when you would have like a chip that was put in, it's a computer thing. Who's running that computer? Like you're giving someone access. That seems crazy to me. It's like then you're sharing this vessel with somebody else. And to me, I was like, I think it would be like you're listening to somebody all the time telling you, like it would be, I think it would be insane. There's no way to me, it feels like you would need an exorcism or something. This is fucking person out of here. So, yeah, I don't understand why people would want to put a chip in them. Maybe I'm completely off on it. Maybe I'm way too conspiracy thinking that they're going to be controlling the chip with their thing. But that one guy from the he said that's what their plan is, to control us through that kind of shit. So, no, I don't think it's a crazy stretch. But yeah, there's no fucking way I'm having any other shit put in there, because it's like gives them access and they can override you. Like they can drive you insane. That's what all this MK, mind control shit and stuff. They drive people in crazy because they interfere. They go into their minds. And I know they're doing that with whatever, with the towers or something. They're messing with stuff. Like sometimes it's so loud. Sometimes it's like you just keep hearing the same shit over and over. Like there's it's like when they say it's in the air, it's like it is. They're messing with stuff and people don't realize it, and it gives people anxiety and stuff. But they got these, these kids that are so consumed into this meta world that they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to be in the real reality that's around them. They don't know how to interact. They don't know how to talk to people. You have to text them to talk to them. They're anxious. They're scared of everything. And as they implanted them in this little fake world, so in their consciousness. So, anyways, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to have to be healed. Like they've taken each generation in a dark way to bring out this worst part, but they wanted to get it to where they had total control over these people's minds, just like in that movie where they just wanted these little soldiers that they could totally control with no parents and stuff. So that's what their aim is, and right now they're actively killing all the people off. And so then they would have their little soldiers left, and then they would get them to kill off the ones that weren't in agreement with them. Like this is that movie shows exactly like where they would be going, but we're gonna wake up just like they did in the movie and stand up for ourselves, and that's when everything's gonna turn a different direction. And so, but it is edging us that direction already, because it is written in the stars. This is the way it's going. It was the end of the old path. The old way is ending. We're going into a new one. So when they talk about the apocalypse, yeah, something's ending. Something's blowing the fuck up. But it's not us. It's not the whole world. It's the world that they created for us. That's ending. And that was not a world where we were successful. We were beat down, angry, bitter, sad. It was a sad, toxic world. And so, anyways, yeah, it's good that it's ending. Because what good was it doing? It was the only good it was doing was that we were able to come here and learn hard lessons. But now, whatever lessons we learned were the ones we learned. And now is like, this is why I said it's like this wrap up. It's like this going full circle, clean up all the mess that you have created over the times of going through these different experiences, so that now that you can have the experience that you want to have. Now we're going to go into this realm of where it's going to be more in sync, more a better vibrational match. It's going to be, yeah, because it was kind of like so many of us felt so uncomfortable here, you know, in this vibration. And so it's going to go into a more comfortable vibrational match where everything is, you know, you are having the day you want to have. But don't forget, when you're wanting to have the day you want to have, it has to do with your attitude. And there is this superficial t- um, tendency that they've created by forcing you to do things you don't want to do. Like kids, how many kids get up? Their day is fucked because they got to get up and go to school. They got to go be bullied. They got to go deal with this and deal with that. There's no real freedom in our world, in our lives anymore. And it creates so much tension and anger and sadness and bitterness and stuff. So it's going to be a real relief when people get to just do what they want to do and not have all of this construct around them and what you're expected to do and this artificial drive like you can have success if you do this and stuff. No, you can get some shit and we're just going to take it away from you as soon as we can. So anyways, it's just a bunch of bullshit. So anyways, yesterday it was clear. It was totally clear out. So I have no idea why it took so long to download yesterday. I couldn't believe it. And then I even went into town to get my ring and stuff. And it's still, I didn't finish until I went all the way there, came all the way. It was just taking so long. And it kept doing weird shit. So I don't know. I don't know what today will be. Because then for all those days before that, it was like going on real quick. And then all of a sudden it switches again and then it starts going like taking 12 hours, taking 15 hours, taking 8 hours. So I don't know. I will see. Today's supposed to be clear. And Friday the 25th. It's supposed to be clear and then it's going to start getting cloudy. And so I'll see but I don't know. I was at first thinking the clear or cloudy had to do with it, but now it's like, I don't know. It was totally clear yesterday, so why wouldn't it have downloaded really quick? So, I don't know. Anyways, I got the mouthwash. Motherfuck. Oh, shit. That mouthwash is probably the hottest shit I've ever put in my mouth. And it's like, you're supposed to swish it for 2 to 5 minutes. Fuck. I don't know that I made it for 30 seconds. My mouth was on fire. And I'll show it tomorrow. I'll get it and I'll hold it. I think it's called Uncle Harry's or something. Something like that. But I'll get it tomorrow and show you. But it is but if it's too hot, now I know it's too hot for me, you can water it down some. So I'm gonna have to water it down some. It's hot as shit, like a spearmint or something, really intense. So anyways, I just did the first day with that. And that is still being super sensitive, but it was only the first day. So that's what it's looking like right now. The hair, which I will be so glad to start having hair filled in because it makes me feel so sad of to have my hair keep falling out, which seems so weird because before when there was more of it, then I would bitch about how heavy it was and how hot it was. And then so for it to be lighter, then I should be like happy, but it's like so weird because it's like I just wanted to go back and be thicker again, and then I don't know, then it'll get hot and then I'll be like, oh my god, it's so hot. But anyways, and I'm assuming if it's growing right in here that it is all over growing the hairs. So that's what I was thinking. Well, it should just start getting thicker, I would imagine. Some of these people who do these ads and stuff, they're always like, this was my hair last year and this is my hair now. And it's like huge difference of being really thin and stuff. And then all of a sudden they've got this mass amount of hair. So anyways, we'll see. Because there should be more that'll start like coming up and growing and looking all crazy for a while until they start going to laying down and be alfalfa-ish. So anyways, I think that was, oh yeah, and the eye thing. Like, last night, like a scab thing came off right there. So So I don't know. It still feels kind of like a little scar thing. So I don't know if that's like another thing waiting. But my vision is just getting better and better. So there's Max. So, anyways, I feel like those things are getting better. It, it was making me like kind of stressed. Like, well, if my hair is falling out, what would I be? Uh, I think I'm getting healthier, but am I not? Maybe I'm not. But I know the zinc has to do with your hair falling out, but also you're not supposed to take tons and tons of zinc, I don't think. You can look it up, and also you got to take it with Curcumin. So there's more to the zinc thing. But if you're low in zinc, your hair will fall out. So, anyways, but we're also, our hair's falling out because we're being radiated, I think. So, anyways, it can be a whole bunch of different things. There's a phone number now for you to call if you see spraying in your area. They want you to report it. So there's a phone number. I took a picture of the phone number, so I have it if anybody wants it. And there's just a lot more stuff going towards the poison thing. And so that's going to keep going. So, hopefully they'll start figuring this shit out, and we'll start, our hair will stop falling out. Aging will stop happening, all of this shit. So, anyways, I don't know. But until then, I'm telling you what the main things to work on is working on loving yourself, loving everybody, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.